are smack in the middle of the top section on page AYIN Gimel. The line starts with the word inum, the Iyar. We started the Maimer, where it begins with Rosh Chodshechem Takribu El Hashem. On the heads of months, you should bring your korban oil. So the Zohar asks, how many heads are to a month? True, the sun supplies the moon, but the head of the month is the sun, is only the moon. Something goes in different Roshim, Yankiv and Yosef, Tiferes and Yisoid and so forth. This is all very brief. This is just an introduction. The basic question is, how many heads are there to this moon or to the month? It would feel us to revisit and rejuvenate, so to speak, what has been discussed previously. The Ha'oires Atzilus, namely that the Oires of Atzilus, Hareiheim Bibchinas Islapshus Pnimi Bibchinas Akedim Atzilus, that the Oires are not merely illuminating the Kelim, but they are Bipnimius, meaning that they relate to the Kelim. There is a correlationship between the Oires and the Kelim. This principle we discussed quite extensively, and it behooves us to get a sense of this, that the Oires Atzilus, Oires, which is Elokus, and Kelim, which is world, and yet they correlate in a perfect manner. The oil does not feel that it is in a strange place, and the kelim do not feel that they are being overwhelmed. Sharideza, whereby, as a result of this hislapshus, of this correlationship, nasim bebchinas mahus umetzius dover, the oils become bibchinas. They acquire the quality of a mahus or mitzias dover, of a real presence. Just to reiterate and show, we should recognize what is so fantastic about that. So we have many mishorim that illustrate this phenomenon. One very close to home mashal is the human being, the human impact upon his home. And we said that really this is quite a concept. The human being owns his home, and instantaneously, upon owning it, his presence spreads, and it encompasses the entire home, every last corner in the home, whether you have 100 rooms or 1,000 rooms. His presence is everywhere, as we demonstrated from various questions. This presence is not a metzius. It's not a separate entity from the human being. It's not a tangible, it's not a definable quality. If this is not a tangible, not definable quality, this is similar to the union of oir islamayl, oir aleki. And yet, that oir is mislabesh in kelim. And when it's mislabesh in kelim, it becomes a metzius. In our moshel, on the human being, in his home there are tables and chairs and all other human amenities. These amenities are illuminated by the human presence to the point that you can identify a human being with a table. But it's not, it's worlds apart. Like we said, if you think about it, it's almost an oddity that a human being feels perfectly at home, comfortably, does not feel at all being put upon when he sits in front of a table, which is an external presence made of wood. A human being and wood are not in two separate different worlds. And yet he feels perfectly comfortable. And again, as we pointed out, we should not be fooled by the appearance of comfort, of convenience. This is not what a table provides for a human being. Convenience, as we said, is a window ledge. Is also convenient to put things down. We all experience that. This is not what a table. A table actually represents the human dignity, the human reality. Amazing thing. This is called oiris mislapshim bekelim. When oiris are mislavish in kelim, the oir becomes a metzius mahus, an identifiable and definable presence. And now moshel, it would mean that the relationship of the oir that is mislavish in a table on a human level is a real metzius. It is not part of the human being. It's a metzius on its own. It becomes imbued in the table. The table comes to life, acquires a human status as a result of this relationship.
This is all illustrating the way that or is
Mislabish and kelim.
The keli's not overwhelmed and
the kelim is not overwhelmed and the oil is not contradicted.
Okay.
How can that be? Okay, let's go inside again. This is all a review. Then the oils transform and become a metzius dover and a tangible presence. To the extent that you can distinguish various oils, oil of chokhmah, oil of chesed. Again, if we could come back to the human being, when a person learns and he has an insight of chokhmah, or a person has an understanding and an expression and a revelation of chesed.
On this call, press 1.
This is the same human being. These are not separate qualities in the human being. Chesed is the human being, and Chokhmah is a human being. Let's discuss this briefly. In order to do chesed with your fellow man, somebody who is external to yourself, besides the compassion and the so to speak, the feeling along with him. This is feeling an external thing. There has to be, and there is, a sense of unity. This is not a man from Mars. We both are together in the same world. If not for that, this would never bring about chesed or anything like that. Nor chokhmah. Chokhmah, we say chokhmah is illustrated, the moshel of chokhmah. It's not a moshel, it's a real translation of chokhmah at a lower level. Sight. When you see things, chiri is mikorev. You're not seeing something from a distance. You are there when what you see. This is clearly a godly presence in the human being, where the human being in fact encompasses and relates to the entire reality of the world. He doesn't relate to things by external coercion. Self-preservation is shtusim v'havolim. He relates to it because it's his. Because he relates to the godly reality. And this is how a person can own property across the globe. What does he come to across the globe? So this oir, when it's mislabish in kelim, acquires, so to speak, the quality of the kelim. And acquires the quality of the kelim to the point where he does not feel that he's in a strange place. He doesn't belong there. This is the phenomenon that we are discussing. And the Rebbe explains what is in fact behind it that enables this experience. They become mechinas mitzias dover k'mei bechinas eira chochem eira chassid. V'sibas hadover. The real cause for this is not as it would appear, because the keli grasps the oil and transforms it. If that were the case, there would always be kind of a relationship between two strangers that are both fighting against each other. The real cause for that is mipnei, due to the fact shehoiros, that the oiros gam b'shorshon u'mukeiron, even as they are in their root and in their source, before they even formulate it yet. K'mei shehein kululim b'Einesof, as they are incorporated in the Einesof. Lifnei hatzimtzum, before the tzimtzum. In our platforms, or on the human platform, as we pointed out, every one of human activities, a table, speech, all the koiches, they're all separate koiches. And the person has hands and feet, and the hands have 10 fingers. And they are extremely versatile and extremely capable and all that. All these things are not an add-on to the human being. They are merely revelations and an exposition of the human spirit. As the Pasuk says, but the Rebbe said, quote-unquote, conceptualize the human being. He says, let us make a human being. What's going to be when I make him? Oh, he is going to rule the whole world. He's going to rule the whole world. In order to rule the whole world, he has to have feet and he has to have hands. He has to have a mouth. He has to be able to command and direct. All this is not an add-on to the human being, facilitator. This is the human being. He is the whole world. On this superior manner. In the very source, in the very essence of what these oiros are, as they are in AYIN Seif, as they are rooted in the AYIN Seif, representing, so to speak, the real source of everything. Hareiheim bebchinas esesfiris. Before the Tzimtzum, as they are included in AYIN Seif, Hareiheim bebchinas esesfiris. They are bebchinas. They have the quality. They have the sense of esesfiris. I've explained esesfiris is a significant number. It's not just it's 10. It's a very significant number. What is the bechina of 10 esfiris? What is the bechina of 10 esfiris? The bechina of 10 esfiris is that this is something geared, something aligning up for further creation. Esesfiris is representing a line of development from top, from Insoy, from Chochmah, through various rungs, various levels, without losing connection to the top, but nevertheless reducing it as it goes along, all the way to Malchus, which is relating to the outside, which is the creation of the world, which is a world.
It has something, I don't know if it's in context, but Chesed is also related to the world.
What?
Not only Malchus relates to the world, Chesed also relates to the world.
Chesed relates, in practice, Chesed relates to the world through Malchus. Chesed only provides a spirit for it, not the actual, really, a connection. The actual connection is through Malchus. If it were directly from Chesed, it would be an odd relationship. It's like acting across the sea. They're not in the same place in the same world. Let us discuss this a little bit. Just want to see what time it is. What is Malchus versus all the other spheres?
Wait, what, before that, why are we talking about that? What's the context?
No.
He's a culprit.
Yeah, no.
Huh?
One
One second. You're answering. He's asking about the question.
Oh, sorry.
We said that Malchus relates all the way to the outside, to the action. So that's Chesed also relates to the outside. Not only Chesed, but even Chochmah also. You understand things in the broader reality, outside.
That's what I was saying before, that the outside helps define the Malchus. It's almost as if Malchus needs the outside to be Malchus. It's a distinction. Emel below Am. That because there's an outside, it gives the characteristics of Malchus dependent in a sense.
Yeah, but it's asking that Chesed also relates to the outside.
No, that's the
That's
answer
what we
to
said
it.
before.
No, that's the answer I'm saying.
Now what?
as opposed to this chesed, malchus needs the outside to have this characteristics of being malchus. Chesed is chesed without the world. Malchus needs the world to have its definition of malchus. Ein melech v'lo am. That's the distinction. I understand. It has to come onto the world to have its characteristics.
All right, I'll tell you, we'll go in circles. Let me just go in and discuss Malchus for a moment. Why a Melech B'lo Yam? Why is a Melech need a man?
What means a melech? If there's no there's not a melech.
That's right. So, okay, so what does he need the Yam for? He needs to be a Melech.
So we could say that
What?
if all the other spheres are not there, there's no Malchus.
There's no levels.
There's no Malchus. There's no Malchus without the other spheres.
Of course. And the spheres translate eventually into Malchus. We have to, as I say all the time, we have to put on our thinking caps rather than talking caps. If a person conceptualizes a business, and he tests it, so to speak, in his mind, and by studying the business world, and designs it all the way to the perfection, to the last screw, last office. How is this business going to structure it? Who is going to be in charge of this? Who's going to be in charge of this? The whole business structure. How is it going to accomplish its task and so forth? And he studies it. It really is a perfect design. Has he accomplished anything? Or is he in some kind of a floating world? Has he accomplished anything?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yes? He did. What did he accomplish?
He's beginning to relate to the world. His business ideas, how to implement it.
Well,
That's the
I'm
first
talking
thing.
about he didn't implement it. He just has the plan in his mind.
The plan in itself is something.
What is that something?
He's relating to the world. You have to business skills, but to be able to implement it in a practical sense, that's already a level.
So what did he accomplish? You're asking my question. Did he accomplish that or not?
Yes.
What did he accomplish?
Application is accomplished.
So, he didn't apply. He didn't apply. No, he didn't apply anything. He just has a plan in his mind.
So plan is something.
No, so
Architects makes a thing. It's also a thing.
So what is the accomplishment of that? What is that? How does that accomplish anything?
Adaptation is accomplishment. Adaptation is accomplishment.
Adapt?
Adaptation, to adapt.
But he didn't adapt anything. He
When
just
you were-
designed it. No, I want to understand what we're talking. Otherwise, we're talking different languages.
He's changing his thing.
The Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya that there are two nefoshes in a person. These two nefoshes are at war with each other. Why are they at war with each other? Why don't they each let the other one be? You do your thing, I'll do my thing. Do we understand the question? Do we sense the answer to it? What is the what?
The answer is because.
I'm sorry.
The answer is, but they're still connected. It's affecting. If someone does something, it affects the other. So it's not that.
I'm asking, why are they at war?
I got lost here. Why is who at war?
Yeah.
The nefesh habamis and nefesh malchus.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yeah.
why would they be at war?
Yeah.
And this came out of the question of plan and application? Plan
No.
missing some steps.
Okay.
No, you answer. The Shiluv in itself is a high entity. Integrate the Shiluv in itself is like the Ferris.
One second. What is the difference between plan and application? What's so important about application? I said, when
What's
you
the
plan it,
difference
did you
between
accomplish
them?
anything or not?
Are you accomplishing it? You're on the way to implementing
Well,
it.
did you? But at this point,
It's not the poil yet, but you're making the plan.
at this point, did you accomplish
It's
anything?
not yet seen in no. But you're on the way to doing
Well, that's
Fine,
something. That's a
fine,
different.
fine.
That's a different thing.
Yeah. I mean, what? Yeah.
We said many times. An interesting phenomenon. You're lying in bed, and your mind tells you it's time to get up.
Planning to get up.
Time to get up means you have the plan
Not good.
all
enough.
set up.
Nope.
Is the plan going to get you up or not?
Might help, but it's not doing anything.
The plan is not going to do anything.
Not okay.
So the
fine.
plan is not an accomplishment.
No, it is now because
Well, let's just
doesn't
say it's
the
not
getting
for
up. The getting up makes you realize there's a world. It gives chashivas to the world that you have to work in the world.
But
So
he
it's
didn't. But does it get you up or not?
Established it does
yes,
not.
it does. Energizes you.
The plan
It's about
does.
something has to be accomplished. It gives meaning to the world. It's the sum is greater than the parts. The person and world is the third part. Oh, he has to make a diuk tachtonim. That's a new entity. Because of the world, he creates a new concept. Diuk tachtonim.
Are you in the same world that I am?
No, halavai. Halavai.
I have to. It's time to get up. Does that get you up?
Yeah. It brings out the neshama.
What?
Brings out the neshama.
Why? No, but it's the precursor to actually getting up. It doesn't get you up.
No, it elicits the neshama. It does do something. It elicits the neshama.
It's just for a second.
Two neshamas.
No, it joins it too. Velt.
I have to look for another morsel that everybody would agree to.
I have to get up, but I'm really tired.
Saying
I'm really
Modani is
tired.
not. Saying Modani in bed. It's just a big finger.
No, we don't understand this and the significance of all these questions. There are 10 spheres, starting from Chochmah, Bina, Das, Chesed, Gvur, Tiferes, all the way to Yesod. Nothing happens until Malchus comes into play. Nothing happens. Everything at that point is internal to yourself. You're imagining things happening, but they're not happening. It's an interesting thing that in a melucha, it's a klal gadol. A nation that has no army is not a nation. The French dream they're a nation. They're not. They're fools. They don't have an army. They have all the representation, they salute themselves. They're absolutely nothing. They can't face an enemy. They cannot face anything. You know Ephraim Lear. Anybody remembers Ephraim Lear?
Frame?
Ephraim Lear. No. Ephraim Lear was a guy over here. So he joined the army in Chassidus, the Israeli army. And he was trained over there. He was a very healthy guy. He says, Israeli army is a fraction of the French army. He said, they run them over in a day. There's no challenge. They're not an army. What's an army? So now we have, please define what is an army. So the Rebbe explains that the meaning of an army, a soldier, his particular quality is the principle of Mesiras Nefesh. This is his particular quality. His capabilities and all that, these are all important things. But what makes a soldier? Mesiras Nefesh. Mesiras Nefesh. What do you need Mesiras Nefesh? Let him live. Mesiras Nefesh, this is what you said before. Anything but my Melech cannot exist. That's an army. This is the Alter Rebbe says. Shnei Malachim Milchom al Nirach. Two Malachim, these are two nefoshes, are two Malachim Nilchomim. They're at war. Why are they at war? Because the principle of a Melech is that everything is under his jurisdiction. There cannot be anything outside of that. If he can tolerate something outside, he's not a Melech.
So where's the Mesiras Nefesh element coming in there?
Mesiras Nefesh means that he will stand up to an enemy, to an opposition, even if it means that he eliminates his whole mitzvahs. In other words, no limit. No limit.
Because there's nothing other than the Melech?
Because he cannot tolerate any opposition. He's completely dedicated to eliminating any opposition. If it means to put your life on the line, it means your life on the line. No limit. That's a name for a soldier. This is the principle.
The Melech.
This is the principle of Melech. A Melech, a Melech is not just a wise person giving good advice. A Melech he spreads everywhere. And this is the pshat that Esesphiris go through the entire process of it, all the way to Malchus. What is Malchus? As we said many times, it's literally Malchus is pshat itself. The Melech is in his place, in his country, in his palace. So where he is, clearly he is the ruler. There's only here, like you own your home, and only you are in your home. The name of a Melech is that he is not only where he is, but he is even where he is not. There is nothing that is devoid of his rulership, outside of his rulership. Even if it's at a distance, if it's 1,000 miles away, Makes a difference.
Who, by the king?
Huh?
The king?
The king. This is the Spheres. As a spheres, this represents the ultimate, the perception of a world, of an outside. This is the beginning of creation. Creation represents that the godly presence is not only in the godly realm, but even outside of it.
So the Melech uses the other 9 spheres to rule? The Melech uses the other 9 spheres to rule?
The other 9 spheres is what he implements. But to implement outside this is only a moment. Okay, is it? Okay.